All right. Hello. I've just starting to get everything working again. My computer completely overheated. I was in another meeting earlier and it was a lovely meeting, and then all of a sudden just everything went out. And that is the way technology works sometimes, isn't it? So I wanted to talk today a little bit about some of the topics that I was bringing up in my podcast earlier this week, and just kind of go into a little bit more detail with that because I think it's really important when we're thinking about our jobs, and especially with all of the things that are going on right now in terms of layoffs and considerations on, are we even in the right role? Is this the right fit? Is this the direction that I want to be moving? And I have countless clients who ask me questions related to this because there is concern right now. There is uncertainty and ambiguity around the direction that we're moving or heading within our lives. And I think it's incredibly important that we not forget what's core and integral to our own driving growth and impact and purpose. And so sometimes when we're starting to experience questions around this, it can be as a result that we've really outgrown our roles. We may have outgrown our role, we may have outgrown our company, we may have outgrown even our career. And that can sound really weird and scary to think about, especially if you are, mid to senior level and you have spent a good amount of time preparing for yourself, your growth, your retirement. And now you're starting to recognize the signs that maybe this isn't the right fit for you any longer. But what do you do about that? And so there's a couple of things to consider. Number one, is this really the situation that you're going through? Have you truly outgrown your career? Or is it simply a matter of fit? And so there's a difference between enjoying what you Yep. How can I fix this really fast? All right. Well, let's see if I can fix this here. If you are still hanging out with me, there we go. There we go. All right. We've got some tech issues today. That's all I can say. And that's just the way it goes. For all of my engineer friends out there, I'm sure you can feel me. Yeah. So, okay, we're back. Where was I? I basically had to reboot my computer. This is the second time today. All right. So, if I'm going to take this off for a second. If you've reached a certain point in your career and you are really starting to question whether this is the right path for you, number one, I really want you to know that you are not alone. I have clients from all industries right now who are asking me about if this is the right fit for them, and they are ranging from beginning manager up to SVP. So sometimes we do question, especially with the things that are happening, the state of the world right now, the economic challenges that we're facing. And to be honest, as a leadership coach, it can feel really confusing when, we're being told one thing, which is like, how do we grow in our leadership? How do we create a culture that feels like the type of culture that we want to be in? How do I show up and be authentic as a person in my career? And at the same time, how do I start meeting the extra demands, the challenges that we're facing, and et cetera? So there is a lot going on. And I think it's causing a lot of questions to come up in relation to, is this even the right fit for me any longer? Is this still the career that I want to be a part of? And if these are the types of questions that you're asking yourself, then it's a series of things that you might want to consider going down in terms of, is this something that you still feel passionate about? And really dig back into that. Is this something that you still feel in your core is a part of, who you are and why you went into the industry that you're in? I tend to talk to a lot of tech leaders because that's my background. I have a background in engineering and design, and then moved up into leadership before I moved into executive coaching. And so I spent 15 years trying to figure that out. I do apologize. Like every notification is now popping up since I rebooted. So, all of the things that you find interesting and bring value to yourself in your career, as a leader in your career, take those things into account. That might be an issue, a signal or an indicator for you that this is still the right fit for you. And it could simply be a pivot in terms of finding the right fit in terms of culture, environment, company. Sometimes we really put a lot of emphasis on the company that we work for. We put a lot of emphasis on either the perks that we've received, benefits, stock options, retirement, but we're not really banking on ourselves when we're doing that. We're not really thinking about, okay, what's next for me in the next chapter? We're really looking acutely at one aspect of our career, and we're oftentimes really ignoring our own happiness in that process. It could be a subtle pivot is all that's needed in terms of finding the right place. And again, I recognize that right now it's a trying time, but that won't be forever. And so if you start laying some of that groundwork now to think about, is this the right company culture that I want to be a part of? Is this the right, leadership environment that I want to be a part of? Am I making the impact that I know that I want to make and that I'm capable of making? Is it leveraging my expertise and experience and skills and natural leadership qualities in the most effective way? And really start considering for yourself, is this in alignment? Not even just only, are there leadership opportunities? Is there going to be growth opportunities? But isn't it in alignment? Are you able to be your best self in this environment? And then you can start to ask yourself, well, what type of environment does that look like? Is it a large corporation or a really small corporation? What does that mean for me? Or if you're really starting to think about, yes, I love this type of work, but I don't like the way I'm doing it, then is there another way? Can you move into some sort of other kind of role that enables you to have fulfillment in this capacity, but may not be operating in the same way, such as consulting, starting up your own business, or doing something different? Maybe you are developing your own product. It sounds risky. It sounds scary sometimes to think about those types of things. And if you're risk averse, like a lot of engineers tend to be, that might be something to consider even more. But I think it's really important and it's key that we really start to think inward, first of all, when we're looking at our career. If we're waking up in the morning and we're dreading going into work or starting up our machine or checking our emails, is to, why? Why is that coming up for you? There is a squeeze happening right now. And as leaders, I think it's so important that we are able to address that head on. Because if we were able to communicate to our people and say, listen, I know it's a challenge right now, and we just need to kind of push a little bit more right now, but we need you, we appreciate you, we value you, we might have a different feeling about the work that we're doing. And so you can ask yourself that too. Is it the right environment? Is the leadership leading in the way that I feel that they should? Or if you're a leader, am I leading in the way that my team and my company needs in order for us to survive during this time? So there's a lot going on within, corporate sector, and truthfully within the government sector as well right now. So a lot of clients will come and ask me these types of things. I don't know if I want to stay. I don't know if I want to move up. I don't know if I want to take on those extra responsibilities. I do want to make an impact. I do want to leverage my skills and expertise in the ways that I was originally passionate, but I just don't know how to do it. And so really getting down to the root of, what is it that's bothering you first and foremost? Is it the work, or is it the environment? Is it the role? What is it? And that can start to help to guide or pivot, where you're starting to think about moving. And a lot of this requires self-discovery and, taking stock of your skills, what it is that you bring to the table. Maybe there is some personal development and growth that is required. Maybe those are considerations that you need to make. However, when you invest back into yourself, you are investing into your future in a way that a company can never do. So retirement is only one part. Stock options are only one part. But when you invest back into yourself, you're opening up doors and opportunities that otherwise may not have been available. So asking yourself, what is it that I need to learn or grow or change or expand on in order for me to become the person that I want to become and do the types of things that I want to do and live the type of life that I see myself living? And if it's not right now, what do you see yourself in 5 years doing? Because as we know, in certain industries, 5 years, 10 years in engineering, you're a senior engineer. That's, for the most part, you're already an elder, so to speak. So really considering, now what it is that you want to be doing with your career and where you want to be moving. And then really taking ownership of your career trajectory. How do you know if you've outgrown your career? Well, you start feeling disinterested in some of the things that you might have to be doing. You're not as motivated. And that's, I think, a huge indicator for us. And when we're starting out on our careers, we'll say yes to anything because we see this kind of light at the end of the tunnel, though we don't fully know what that looks like. And we'll just start moving forward, and it's exciting and it's fresh and it's new. And then as we start to continue on in our careers or become wiser with experience, we know exactly what some of those things that we take on mean, what that looks like. We've gone through failure. We know what that looks like. And so really asking yourself, Is this still the right fit for you? And are you solving problems outside of your role? Again, is it a process issue within the organization, or is it something that you're not interested in what it is that you're doing? So you're trying to fix all of these other things. And the thing that you're ignoring the most is you. And what do you want to see for yourself? And what do you want to cultivate for yourself? And of course, truthfully, if you're feeling overwhelm and burnout, well, those can be some really big indicators for you that it's important to take a look at this. And why is it that you are undergoing this? And is it environmental? Is it something about you? Are you taking on more because internally you feel the need to prove yourself time and again? Is it an expectation? When we're excited about the work that we're doing, it doesn't feel so difficult. And when we're not excited about the work that we're doing, then it feels like a chore. It feels like a burden. It feels like a job. So if these are types of questions that are coming up for you, then it's really important that you start digging down deep and considering for yourself, are you still on the right path? Because there is a season for everything in our lives. Just like college is a season for ourselves. We didn't stay there. Also, maybe some of us did, but we didn't really stay there. And then we move into, say, our first role. We didn't want to stay there as we keep moving up. Are you at a point in your life where you are moving up or moving out? What is it looking like for you? Or is it just a matter of looking at the situation that you're in and figuring out how to better handle it? There's a number of things that come up in executive coaching in relation to all of these things. And it's important to know, which one are you looking at? Because that way you can start to address it and take ownership of your trajectory and where you're wanting to move, how you're wanting to approach it and handle it, essentially. And so really, are you considering what brings you fulfillment and joy within your career? And if you're starting to notice that this isn't fulfilling you because there's some other calling or something, deeper inside of you that you kind of want to explore, I think that's important to consider too. I was talking to a client yesterday where, she's kind of come to the conclusion that she's going to stay within the role, but she's now found an external volunteering opportunity that fulfills this other piece of passion for her. And that might work for some people, and you can, find fulfillment in that way. At the same time, she's also going to be working on a business strategy so that she's got like plan A, B, and C working out for her. For me in my career, it started to pivot in the sense of I wasn't just excited about the technology as much as I was about helping other people grow, helping to see them flourish, helping to watch organizations shift and pivot in ways that were healthier for their employees, where they're taking into consideration the processes and the needs of change and how that motivated people, how people learn. And so that was a big indicator for me that maybe being an engineering manager wasn't the right fit for me anymore. And so I started to pursue executive coaching and made a complete, career transition, though I still have that knowledge and I use it every single day in a different capacity. So really considering for yourself, what's next? What on your career trajectory are you looking to do? And what is the impact that you would like to make? And when you can start to ask yourself and answer those questions, then you can start to see if it's going to be the right fit for you now, or is it a right fit for you later to move on ahead. So, I don't know if this is speaking to you or if there's questions that people have, please put them, into the comments. I would love to help or address this. But I just wanted to come on and really talk about, some of the things that come up in private coaching sessions in relation to our careers and how it is that we can start to recognize, have we just outgrown our role? Have we outgrown our company? Do we need to just simply pivot to another company? Is it about up-leveling to another role? Or is it really about leaving? Because when we're unhappy and we don't exactly know why, we don't know what to attribute it to. We don't know what it is. We just know that we're not feeling right. And that is especially true for right now when it feels muddied because there's more being asked of us to perform and to do with less funding, less resources, less people, and more, turnaround. And that doesn't always lead to a healthy, kind of work-life balance and incorporating the other types of things in our lives that we want to be a part of it. So I really challenge you to start asking what it is, because then you can actually start doing something about it. You can start taking action. You're not stuck. When you have a plan, then you can start following through on that. Then you can start thinking about where it is that you want to see yourself go. It may not happen overnight, but it's certainly better than doing nothing. Certainly better than waiting for change to happen when it may never happen. If you want to take action, you have to kind of think about where you want to move forward for yourself. So I just wanted to come on and talk about that a little bit. I know I brought that up in the podcast on Tuesday in terms of not feeling stuck in your career and really thinking about what's that next move for you? What's that career transition going to look like? And especially if you have made it to a certain level in your career, you might be wondering what is next for yourself. And if your ambition isn't necessarily to move into the C-suite, but more so to find fulfillment and passion and joy and leverage the knowledge that you've gained throughout your career, then you can think about what is the next season of my life going to look like? And I really like looking at it like that, as a season of our lives, just like we have different types of relationships in our lives, and they're there for a reason, and we learn and we grow from it. And we do the same thing within our roles and our careers and places that we bring into our lives. And so then it's a matter of, well, then what do we do with that? And it doesn't always mean that we have to feel stuck. It's just what's the next step that we're going to make. All right. Let me know if this was helpful for you. I'd love to hear in the comments any thoughts that might be coming up for you or questions that I could help to answer. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. And sorry for all my tech problems. Bye.